Are we live? Are we live? Maybe we're not live. I don't know. What's going on here? YouTube's being weird. YouTube's being weird. Are we live? Are we live? I'll wait for some people to get in here. We'll watch some videos together, you know. Let's just talk about this, man. This trial's crazy. I just want to see what your guys' opinion is because, you know, you only sort of see like the media posts and stuff. Live. But what's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. I think we're live. Should be good. All right. Should be good. Like the media posts. All right. Oh, damn. I'm right there. Damn. One watching. I gotta wait for some people to get in here and we'll watch some clips. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for some people here to come in. Ooh. Video shows Amber Heard and James Franco cuddling. All right. What is this? What are we watching? Okay, hold on, guys. I need to remove that. And I need to go get that up over here with the chat. All right. We're good. Perfect. What's up, guys? What up? Let's watch some videos. Let's hang out. Yes, sir. Got my CSI shades on for this. What is this? What are we watching? Emmanuel Alagre, am I saying that right? What up, man? I mean, this video is, what was that? What was that? Let's watch this
My back
body.
is turned to him.
Yeah, I like
and
this.
I feel this.
I love this shit, man. The body language like experts. This shit's wild. I love this stuff. Yeah. I'll do it like this. This is better, actually. Yeah.
boot. He holds up this bottle to me, and you know, I'm saying, did you drink this whole thing?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Behavioral Arts, and this video is a few days later than it should be, and there's a really good reason.
Spidey. This guy's name is Spidey. I don't know if you can see this. Spidey. All right.
For that. As I explained on my community page, I've had a really busy week. I was on a lecture tour where I got to speak at some amazing events about behavior analysis and body language, and I wanted to watch.
Never had.
Sorry, bro. We got to skip that.
I got the scenes that I thought were important and the most telling, and I did that, and I've caught some amazing stuff that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So let's start right now.
My father.
So straight up, can we talk about this? This guy's studio setup is sick. Lighting, color grading. Got little Asa hearts in the background there. Oh, he's got the earring with the holes in it. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of the earrings with the holes. Just me.
You're going to enjoy. So let's
I'm also
start
wearing these
right
shades
now.
though, so I mean.
My father broke horses and did construction. He painted houses, and hunted and fished, but that was for fun.
What'd you say? My father painted houses? Isn't that code for like in the mob when you need a house painted? Isn't that like you're offing someone?
And hunted and fished, but that was for fun.
Let's hear her say it.
That I think you.
She
let's
says,
start.
my father,
He painted houses
he's in the mob.
and hunted.
He's
and fished,
in the
but that was
mob.
for fun. I would help him. I was more of a crash test dummy. You know, when you train a horse, it's a wild animal. It doesn't necessarily like to be.
I mean, straight up, like, both these people are hurting people. Like, they both got some issues, man. I mean, I'll say it right out the gate. I 100%, from what I know, I mean, none of us know for sure. I mean, even when this thing's over, you're not going to know for sure, but I'm on Team Johnny on this. I ain't going to lie to you. I mean, I would feel bad. I'd own it if Johnny Depp was lying about this and Amber Heard was actually telling the truth. I mean, I would own that I was wrong, but just like, if I had to guess, I think that Johnny Depp's telling the truth. Just, it's for so many reasons. And I mean, the only confirmed stories that actually have physical evidence are her, like, hurting him. I mean, there's not even an ounce of evidence of anything that he's, like, done to her yet. So, I mean, it's, I don't know.
I was the son who never had. It was my job to, stay on.
All right, now as you guys know, I love to start by establishing a baseline because lie detection really, really depends on how far we deviate from our baseline.
Bro, I want this guy's job, man. I want to be this guy. I got none of the skills, but I do want to be this guy.
And there are certain things that hold more or less weight depending on how often we do them. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why do we need to establish a
he's, like,
baseline?
done
We
to her
already
yet,
did
so, I
one
mean, it's-
with her deposition 6 years ago. But for me,
don't know.
the more recent the baseline and more situational the baseline, the better it is. First thing, this is happening a lot, and I haven't seen this in her before when she speaks. Very often at the end of her sentences or like mid-sentence, she'll stop and she'll do this thing where her lips are compressed and raised. And it often comes with that inwards breath or this sort of like a nod as she looks around. And it's happening quite a lot. Now, this tight raised lips thing, which we call a mouth shrug, typically happens for one of two reasons. And the interesting thing is, in her case, I think it's actually both. It goes
Like, where do you go to school to get this guy's job? I love how we're like here talking about Amber and Johnny. I'm like so intrigued by this body language analyst. Like, is there a school of, like, do you get a degree in body language analytics? I mean, sign me up, man. I'll take it. I'll take the 5 years. Emmanuel, what do you think? You team Johnny or you team Amber?
back and forth. The first reason is, the best way to describe it is, it's the physical way of saying, I don't know what else to tell you. So notice how sometimes you're talking and you might say something like this, and usually the shoulders go up and you look at them like, sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. So it's when we're at a loss of words. So I do believe that there are certain cases where she wants to say more, she wants to sell more of this story, but she's like, I don't know what else to add here. I don't know what else to say. The second reason this happens is shared grief or seeking pity, which is more or less the same thing. Think about any event where a bunch of people are feeling pity and sharing grief, like a funeral, for example. You might walk in and you might see someone you know got to the emotional
this
part
guy's
yet,
slightly
but it's nice to
boring.
know.
This guy's slightly boring.
Did he use his tongue?
Yes.
Okay.
That right there was, for me, the first big red flag in her testimony. Now, I don't talk
Oh,
about
red
this
flag,
very
red
often,
flag.
but I spent years as a therapist specializing in people
Okay, so this guy's a therapist first, then he went to body language analytics school. I get it. Yeah, your team Johnny too, man. Yeah, I think, like, I honestly, if I had to gauge it, I think 90% of people are, and that is so crazy. Like, hold on, let me bring this up. It is so crazy because in a case like it's something like this is so sensitive, man. Like, if he actually did do some wrong to her, if he did beat her or something, like that's just so fucking terrible. But like, it's so crazy that like left, right, it doesn't matter what your political background is, man, woman, everyone seems to be on Johnny Depp's side. I have no idea if the jury doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, if the jury comes back with this crazy verdict and like Amber wins, I would be so shocked. I would be floored. But I mean, fuck, women can abuse men too. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And I mean, it's got to be fair for both sides, you know? Like, it's not okay. It's not okay if a man does anything to a woman. It's disgusting. It's also disgusting if a woman does something to a man. I mean, we're humans. It's a human doing something to a human. It's just the stuff that, if it's true what Johnny said about Amber, man, like, crazy he stayed in that long. Like, it's crazy.
who are trying to get over loss or really bad breakups. And as you guys know, I rarely speak in absolutes because there are exceptions to every rule, and one of the first things we learn in behavior analysis is to consider all options. So why is she doing this? Why is she smiling this way? Well, I believe that it's because Amber Heard is on the stand to tell a story. And the way we tell stories is,
that's what I thought
as
too.
the narrative progresses, our emotions change. She is telling this story from the perspective of Amber Heard back then, who didn't know what was about to happen. She's at the beginning of her story. All right, now we're gonna jump into where the abuse actually starts and some really interesting signs that we're seeing both verbally and non-verbally. But before we do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on for more behavior analysis.
You know, in
You know what?
these
You know
kind of
what?
arguments, nothing
I'll do it for this
is
guy.
working. Walking out of the room is me leaving him, walking away from me. You know, hey, where are you going? I'm talking to you. That it went from that to pulling me in by my arm, still shouting about the accusations.
I don't know if you heard it, but that right there is one of the biggest red flags for me in this entire testimony. She does something here that she's going to do one more time later. This is
See, this is why this guy's the professional. I did not notice anything.
huge. So listen literally to what she's saying. She's trying to describe this scenario that happens a lot where she tries to leave him. She tries to walk away from him, but listen to the words. I think she subconsciously slips up and lets us know what actually happens.
Every time you see this logo, think
Damn,
about
we running
one-
ads, baby.
all of
Skip it.
Because she says, I'm walking out of the room, leaving him, walking away from me, yelling, hey, where are you going?
Walking out of the room is me leaving him, walking away from me. You know, hey, where are you going? I'm talking to you.
That doesn't make sense. If she's
Yeah, that actually
trying to
doesn't
get
make any
away
sense.
from him,
She could also be devil's advocate here, yeah. LDR vid. Sorry, Emmanuel, what did you say? That's exactly what I did with your LDR vid. Wait, what is LDR? LDR vid? Shit, tell me. It's been a long day for me. LDR. Lana Del Rey? Oh, Lana Del Rey, that's what it is. Okay, yeah, sweet, man, that's funny. That's too funny.
leaving him, I think what she's trying to say is he's running after me, but she slips up and says, walking away from me. I think for a moment, her mind just freezes and she tells us the reality, which is he was the one walking away from her. When we're being deceptive, what we call the cognitive load is overworked. Basically, what your brain has to do is a lot. Because to tell the truth, it's very simple. You remember the truth, you tell the truth. But to lie, first you have to think of every other lie you told and to try to see if what you're about to say is consistent with all that. Then you have to think of the way you're going to present the lie.
Yeah,
Then
man,
you
you're
actually
Lana
have to
Del Rey. I
present
put it
the lie.
together. I put it
Then you have
together.
to
That's sick.
Look around the room to see if your lie is being accepted, so your brain goes in hyperdrive. And every now and then, we slip things out without wanting to. And immediately after she says this completely nonsensical phrase, leaving him, walking away from me, saying,
That's
hey,
funny,
where are
man.
you going? Doesn't make any
I
sense.
always do that. I always do
She-
that. I always like even videos I watch all the time. Like I put videos on YouTube and I'm always asking people to subscribe and like, you know, sometimes I'll be watching this channel and I'm like, I look and I'm like not subscribed to like Kendrick Lamar. It happened today. I'm like, I wasn't even subscribed to Kendrick Lamar's channel. And I do music reactions mostly. So it's pretty funny.
Freezes up and we see something called speech disfluency and verbal leaks. Basically, because what's happening is I think her brain is literally slowing down. Then we see a gesture that she does more than once. She says, pulling me in, and she does a pulling action. Why is she the one pulling?
I like
Usually
it
when we
better
tell
than
a
that.
story, especially one that we're reliving, we step into our own role. So if I were to tell you he grabbed my arm, I wouldn't say he grabbed my arm. I would say he grabbed my arm, or I felt this on my arm. Imagine if I tell you
Oh yeah, that's such a good fact, man. This guy's spitting facts. I've never seen his videos. These are facts.
I was walking down the street and all of a sudden this car came at me. I wouldn't say I'm walking down the street and all of a sudden this car came at me. It doesn't make sense. It's what I'm experiencing. So why does her gesture say pulling me in? Now, there's a difference if we're saying what this person did than what I did. So we see, for example, Johnny Depp at some point say, she threw a bottle and it went by my head. It's like, here's what she did, then here's what happened. But in this case, they were both involved in that scenario. She also says this later when she talks about being pulled by the hair.
I remember in my apartment in Orange, he would grab me by the hair or he'd grab me by the arm, face, pull me into him.
She doesn't say he pulled me by the hair. She goes, pull me by the hair. Why is she taking the role of the aggressor with her gestures?
yeah,
That's really weird.
facts.
And I got out some of the food I was gonna put together for dinner. Then went upstairs. I don't know if I came back down in my nightgown at that point or if that was shortly after, but the next thing
She just straight up looks like she's lying. It's just like her face, man. I don't know. It just looks like a lying face to me.
I remember is coming downstairs and looking for him.
All right, so this is her lead-in to the night in Australia, which is something they've both talked about a lot. And if you compare their two stories, it's two entirely different things. And this is her even before she gets to it. And she's sort of leading up to it, thinking about how she's going to present this. And we are seeing a massive cluster of deception. Now, clusters of deception are the ways we know when someone's likely being deceptive. We see behaviors that indicate deception all happening at the same time that deviate from their baseline. So remember, none of these behaviors mean anything alone. So if I say something, you go, oh, I do that all the time, and when I'm not lying, it doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Because if it's just that one thing, it doesn't mean anything. You have to see them together. And second, it has to deviate from your baseline. If you do it all the time.
Yeah,
then
Manuel,
it's-
I agree, man. She's just thinking, like, as she's speaking, you know, it's like you can just see the hamster wheel just like, what? Just ripping through, right? Like, I am so intrigued by this case. I know that's like almost a bad thing to say. Like, intrigues is the wrong word. I'm just like, it's just, this shit happens a lot. This shit happens a lot. Like, honestly, I think there's a lot of men, women, people who are just like wrongly accused of things. I think if you wrongly accuse, like falsely on purpose accuse someone of something they didn't do, if you do that, I think you should fit the punishment of what you accuse them of. I think that's only fair.
It's part of your baseline. So we know her baseline. We know what she looks like
Come here,
when
Portia.
she's telling a truthful story, and all these things deviate from that. So first we see
Puppy
a
wants
lip
in.
lick. She licks her lips. And this is something that we do because when we're stressed, our mouth dries up, and this is a way to correct that. It's also a grooming gesture. When we bring moisture to the lips, it makes us more presentable and therefore more believable. Then we see the most researched indication of deception as she touches her face, particularly around the nose. This is not only nose touching, it's also mouth blocking because her hand covers her mouth. So face touching and mouth blocking are both signs that contribute to our cluster. Again, means nothing alone. You're talking to someone, they scratch their face, it's meaningless, but within a cluster, very, very important. Then we see a lip compression, which
And then we got a face touch and a lip compression. That's a cluster, folks.
again is consistent with withheld opinion, something we didn't want to say or something we don't want to say. We also see a ton of eye flutters, just a whole bunch. Now, this kind of is part of her baseline. There are patches where she does this a lot, but here it's crazy. She just keeps doing these eye flutters. And eye flutters is something that we do when we're having a hard time processing information. Finally, we see a giant slow blink. Her eyes close.
Y'all can't see my eyes. I'm speeding.
Stay closed for a second before they open. And this is something we do when we don't want to face something, when we don't want to look at something, and it often happens with deception. So all these things happening in quick succession like that, something is really stressing her about what she's saying or what she's about to say.
He would make these comments about, you know, whoring myself out, but do so in the context of me acting, you know, and he would talk about other actresses who do my role.
We are seeing something there that is going to hold a lot of weight later when she gets into the story of the alleged abuse. Let me start off by saying that I believe what she just said there has some truth to it. Because as you could see, she's not getting all worked up and trying to contort her face. She's speaking with a rather slow cadence. And also, we've seen enough to know that Johnny Depp, especially when he's been drinking, has the capacity to kind of say some crazy things. We've seen it in texts. We've seen a bit of that sort of jealousy. Look at the way she says, myself out. So she goes, you know, she pauses and we see that bit of like disgust, like she's hesitating to say this, pause. Then she says it really fast as her tone dips. Then she goes, but, and now she comes back up to move away from that
Bro, could you imagine being this guy? Every time someone's talking to you and you're just like hyper analyzing every word they say. Oh my God, man, this guy must not sleep.
statement. This cadence is very
Porsche.
common
Hey.
in people who retell a story of abuse and don't want to relive it because they've made big steps to get past it, to move past it. So often when they come to that moment, you're going to see they go, slow down, hesitate. You might see a little bit of this.
You know what? This is interesting, but the funniest thing that I want to watch right now. Funny. Okay, one sec. My dog's going crazy. You good? You good? All right, good. Is that guy who testifies? Yo, is it this guy? Oh, I hope, yeah.
How do you turn passion into a business?
Dude,
With
this
the
guy
help
was
of Honeybook.
hilarious,
Honeybook
just
helps you
vaping up a
handle
storm.
everything.
Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Oh yeah, this guy
Mr.
is
Depp had
so
his
funny.
penis out of his,
Objection.
pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll allow. Next question.
I always make
This
eye
guy.
contact with someone I'm talking to, but I'm not looking to find something like oh, your makeup's wrong, you haven't have to change your eyebrows, or your eyelashes are not even, or I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking at their eyes.
You took Mr. Depp's arm to try to move him out, but he broke away, isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so he was strong enough to break away from your grip, correct?
No.
You don't recall seeing Amber Heard on May 24th, correct?
I don't remember. I don't even remember what I got for breakfast.
You had his arm and he broke away, though, correct?
No.
Isn't that what you just said?
No. I let him go.
I don't doubt that some commentator
trying to trade on being a smarty pants wrote that.
Can you tell me what type of makeup Amber Heard was wearing in any of those videos?
No, I can't tell you.
Can
I
you
didn't
tell
even
me?
know she was wearing any lipstick.
There's an article that says, quote, Johnny Depp is Hollywood's most overpaid actor for the second year in a row. Did you recall reading that?
I don't know, was that written by the second underpaid actor? Or
And you
was
would
that
agree
written by-
that before the op-ed there was negative publicity for Mr. Depp about assassinating President Trump. Do you agree?
No, I missed that one.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing concealer in any of those videos?
No.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing any foundation in any of those videos?
No, I
Can
can't
you
tell you.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing any blush in any of those videos?
No.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing any powder in any of those videos?
No.
I agree that there is an article in Business Insider from 2015 that says Johnny Depp has his 5th box office bomb in a row.
All right, this shit's funny. My dog's going crazy, guys. I gotta cut this short. I'll be back in a bit. All right, Emmanuel, thanks for popping by, man.